opening greeting for World News Greenty, your trusted source for fast, accurate, and unbiased international news. Here we bring you the hottest global updates, in-depth analysis, and diverse perspectives on the world's most pressing issues. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story. Thank you for choosing World News Greenty.
Today's news includes the following: Russian attacks on Ukraine, China recently opened a joint logistics and training center at a Cambodian naval base near the South China Sea, war intensifies, tin from May 27 to 29, 2025 Houthi forces attack Israel.
Russian attacks on Ukraine, developments from May 27 to 29, 2025. Between May 27 and 29, 2025, Russia intensified its military operations against Ukraine, marking one of the most critical phases of the ongoing war. These escalations not only worsened the regional conflict, but also had significant implications for international relations and global security. Escalation of attacks. During this three-day period, Russia launched extensive drone and missile strikes on major Ukrainian cities. The onslaught resulted in considerable casualties and infrastructure damage. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for international support, emphasizing that silence in the face of such attacks was unacceptable. Military tensions on the rise. The military situation in Ukraine has grown more intense than ever. Russian forces carried out a new wave of coordinated strikes targeting both civilian and military sites. The attacks represented the most massive Russian offensive since the beginning of 2025. Widespread air raids. Major cities such as Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Odessa were among the primary targets. Air raid sirens forced residents to seek shelter immediately, spreading fear and panic among the population. The scale of drone and missile deployment marked a significant escalation compared to earlier campaigns. Human and infrastructure losses. According to Ukrainian government sources, at least 14 people were killed and dozens more injured. Numerous buildings were damaged or destroyed, and some healthcare facilities were rendered inoperative. Rescue teams worked through the night to save those trapped under rubble, highlighting the brutal nature of the attacks. Criticism of the international community. President Zelensky strongly criticized the silence of world powers, warning that without timely intervention, Russia would continue its aggressive campaign unchecked. The lack of sanctions or concrete responses could be perceived as indirect support for Moscow's military ambitions. Call for stronger measures. Stronger global policies are needed to address violations of human rights and national sovereignty. Only increased international pressure can help deter future Russian aggression. Concerns from neighboring countries. Neighboring countries like Poland and the Baltic states voiced deep concern and urged NATO and the European Union to act swiftly. They proposed bolstering military cooperation by supplying modern weapons and providing training for Ukrainian forces. A senior Polish official stated, "We cannot stand idly by. The security of Europe is at stake, and we must face this challenge together." Credible international sources. These developments have been reported by multiple credible international sources, offering a comprehensive view of the crisis. News agencies such as Associated Press and Reuters confirmed the escalation and provided detailed statistics on the damage and casualties. Expert analysis. Military experts believe Russia's actions are not only military, but also politically motivated. By intensifying attacks, Russia aims to demonstrate its strength and maintain influence in Eastern Europe. Impact on international relations. These attacks have raised serious questions about the West's ability to restrain Russia. The United States and European nations are considering additional sanctions, but decisions remain under review. This hesitation reflects the West's reluctance to intervene directly, despite acknowledging that Russia's actions breach international law. Humanitarian crisis and aid efforts. Beyond the military aspect, Ukraine is facing a worsening humanitarian crisis. NGOs are working to deliver essential supplies and medical services, but challenges persist due to continued hostilities. Despite these efforts, humanitarian aid alone cannot replace the crucial political and military support needed to restore peace in the region. The conflict in Ukraine reached a critical point between May 27 and 29, 2025. Russia's aggressive strikes have deepened concerns about human rights and global security. This situation affects not only Ukraine but the international order as a whole. The international community's silence in these crucial moments could lead to serious long-term consequences. China opens logistics and military training center at Cambodian naval base near South China Sea. China recently inaugurated a joint logistics and training center at Cambodia's Ream Naval Base near the South China Sea. This move not only strengthens bilateral ties, but also has significant implications for the regional security balance in Southeast Asia. Historical context and current cooperation. The Golden Dragon 2025 military exercise marks a key milestone, reflecting the depth of strategic cooperation between China and Cambodia. This event is not just symbolic of military collaboration, but also carries broader geopolitical meaning amid rising regional tensions. Evolution of China-Cambodia relations. Bilateral relations have flourished since the 1990s, following Cambodia's emergence from prolonged civil war. China quickly became one of the country's top trading partners and investors. In recent years, cooperation has intensified through aid, infrastructure development, and especially military support. Cambodia is now regarded as one of China's closest allies in Southeast Asia, playing a key role in Beijing's regional expansion strategy. Golden Dragon exercises and Cambodia's new defense strategy. First held in 2016, the Golden Dragon exercise was designed to enhance coordination between the two countries' armed forces. By 2025, the scale and scope of the drill had significantly expanded, highlighting deepened military ties and Cambodia's shift toward a more modern defense posture. More than a simple training event, Golden Dragon demonstrates Phnom Penh's ambition to modernize its military and strengthen its regional response capabilities. Cambodia's strategic geographic role. Located at a critical crossroads in Southeast Asia, Cambodia offers a gateway between land and sea near vital maritime trade routes. The development of the Ream naval base gives China a strategic foothold for projecting military and economic influence across the Western Pacific. This has sparked concerns over China's expanding influence, especially given the ongoing disputes in the South China Sea. Purpose and impact of the Logistics and Training Center. The new Logistics and Training Center at Ream is a calculated strategic step for China to bolster both soft and hard power in Southeast Asia. Its primary purpose is to help Cambodia enhance military capabilities through training, modern equipment, and intelligence sharing. The center also functions as a hub for coordinating and monitoring regional military activity, particularly in times of crisis in the South China Sea. Technological support and military modernization. China is providing not only training but also advanced military technologies to Cambodia, including drones, medical robots, and other modern equipment. These assets have already been deployed during the Golden Dragon 2025 exercise. This technology transfer aids Cambodia's military modernization and lays the groundwork for a long-term strategic alliance. Regional and international implications. China's military presence in Cambodia has raised concerns among Western nations, particularly the United States. Washington and its allies may view this as a sign that Beijing is attempting to challenge the current regional order and ignite a new race for influence. In an increasingly competitive strategic environment, China's actions may prompt strong policy responses from other major powers. Key influencing factors. Factor description. Objective. Strengthen Cambodia's combat capabilities. Technology. Advanced military equipment from China. Regional impact. Expanded Chinese presence in South China Sea. Risk. Heightened tensions with the U.S. and allies. Prospects for China-Cambodia cooperation. Bilateral cooperation is expanding beyond military ties, particularly into economic and diplomatic arenas. With China's strong support, Cambodia could become a key connector between Beijing and other Southeast Asian nations. However, this also means Cambodia risks being drawn deeper into great power competition and must carefully balance its national interests. Western response and potential for conflict. Western countries, especially the U.S., are unlikely to ignore these geopolitical developments. China's increased influence in Cambodia may prompt Washington to impose sanctions, ramp up military presence in neighboring countries, or push new regional defense agreements. This sets the stage for a potential Cold War-style standoff in Southeast Asia. Personal perspective. China's establishment of a logistics and training center in Cambodia is a well-calculated strategic move. However, it's also a complex development that may complicate the power dynamics in the region. In the short term, Cambodia stands to benefit, but in the long run, it must ensure it does not become overly dependent on a single power. Conclusion. China's new logistics and military training center at Cambodia's Ream Naval Base marks a turning point in bilateral relations and is poised to reshape the Southeast Asian security landscape. Through the Golden Dragon 2025 exercise and broader military cooperation, China and Cambodia are crafting a new strategic framework that could introduce major shifts to the regional geopolitical environment. Escalating conflict. Houthi attacks on Israel from May 27 to 29, 2025. From May 27th to May 29, 2025, the Houthi armed group launched a series of missile and drone attacks targeting Israel. These events significantly heightened regional tensions and raised serious concerns about the current state of security and political stability in the Middle East. Background. Prior to the attacks, the political situation between Israel and Palestine was already tense. The escalating violence in Gaza drew international attention, and for the Houthi movement, originating from Yemen, this was seen as an opportunity to assert its stance and demonstrate its military capabilities. The Houthis are well known for their long-range attack capabilities using missiles and drones. Their use of advanced technology in these recent attacks reflects a growing sophistication and the evolution of their combat strategy over time. Nature of the attacks. The Houthi forces employed a variety of attack methods, ranging from ground-to-ground missiles to unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. These weapons allowed for effective strikes while minimizing risk to their own personnel. The offensive began on May 27th with a barrage of missiles targeting Tel Aviv and other major cities. In parallel, drones were deployed for more precise strikes on critical infrastructure within Israel. This demonstrated the Houthis' willingness to leverage high-tech warfare to achieve strategic goals. Israel's response. Israel responded swiftly and decisively. The Iron Dome missile defense system was activated to intercept incoming projectiles over major population centers like Tel Aviv. Meanwhile, the Israeli government issued public statements to reassure its citizens and affirm its stance of not yielding to foreign military pressure. Additionally, Israel launched airstrikes targeting Houthi bases in Yemen, aiming to diminish the group's ability to conduct future attacks. These actions served both as a defense measure and a political message to allies and adversaries alike that Israel remains resolute in the face of external threats. Strategic intent behind the attacks. By striking key locations, especially in urban centers such as Tel Aviv, the Houthis made it clear that their objective was to pressure Israel into halting military operations in Gaza. These were not just military maneuvers, but also symbolic actions meant to influence Israel's domestic and foreign policies on the Palestinian issue. Political and regional implications. These attacks send a strong signal. The Houthi movement is not merely a local armed force, but a significant player in the broader Middle Eastern conflict. By directly engaging Israel, they are asserting their power and influence on the regional stage. Furthermore, the Houthis' actions may be part of a broader strategy to gain recognition and support from other militant groups and political allies. Demonstrating their ability to strike a country like Israel could enhance their credibility and expand potential partnerships across the region. Impact on international relations. The conflict between the Houthis and Israel has far-reaching implications. Houthi involvement in Israeli affairs may prompt other countries to intervene, increasing the risk of a wider escalation. At the same time, Israel's strong retaliation may garner further support from its traditional allies, such as the United States and European nations, which have historically backed Israel in conflicts against Islamist forces. This could potentially lead to a prolonged cycle of violence with broader geopolitical consequences. Looking ahead. Given the current dynamics, predicting the future of this conflict is challenging. While the Houthi attacks delivered a significant shock to Israel, it remains unclear whether they will lead to any shift in Israeli policy or simply intensify the already complex regional power struggle. Diplomatic efforts are urgently needed to de-escalate tensions and pursue peaceful resolutions. However, the presence of powerful militant actors like the Houthis makes this goal difficult to achieve in the short term. Conclusion. Between May 27th and 29th, 2025, the Houthi movement launched several attacks on Israel in a clear attempt to force an end to Israeli military operations in Gaza. These events underline not only the military threat posed by the Houthis, but also the complex political dynamics shaping the Middle East. Without effective diplomatic interventions, this conflict risks further escalation, with potentially severe humanitarian and geopolitical consequences.
Thank you for watching World News Greenty. We truly appreciate your time and support. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with others, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more global updates. See you in the next video.